And I was so confused. I was like, this is Christmas. Why are people dressed up scary? Hi guys, welcome back to J. Stefan. We are two designers that have recently moved from California to Germany into this home that we've been renovating for the past year. So if you'd like to join in on our journey, please subscribe and help our channel grow. Since we're well into December and getting closer and closer to Christmas, I figured for this video, it might be interesting to compare some of the Christmas traditions in USA versus Germany. I find it to be very different. It took me a few years to kind of understand and get a hang of the German traditions. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I think it would be interesting. If you guys don't know much about US tradition, I'll introduce that. It's actually fairly simple. And if you're watching from USA and you're not familiar with the German traditions, then I think this video will give you somewhat of an insight into the German traditions around Christmas. I personally find both to be very different, and I love them both equally. But at the end of the video, I'll talk about my preferences and my experiences with it and what I like in both traditions. In Germany, there are a lot of traditions and they can vary from region to region. So this is purely based on my experience here and based on conversations with my friends. If there's something incorrect or if there's a tradition that is part of your region where you're from and you would like to share that, please leave that within the comments, because I would love to learn more about the German traditions around Christmas, because Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year. Thing I really love about the German tradition during Christmas time, which we definitely lack in USA, is the Christkindlmarkt, the Christmas markets. So that's such a nice feeling, because that's when you know that Christmas is coming soon and everyone starts getting into that mood of just happiness and something to look forward to. And the Christmas markets here are so different than any place else I've been to. The German Christmas markets, I have to say, are so special. It just feels like you're walking into this wonderland, and everything about it just seems like a fairy tale come true. You walk in and there's stands with different types of foods. You can buy, I don't know, from everything from socks to shoes to hats, but everything is catered to that Christmas feeling, that winter feeling. And especially when it starts snowing, that is the icing on the cake. So that to me is such a beautiful aspect of Germany, that when I think of Christmas in Germany, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And I wish for anyone that has not been to Germany to at least experience this once in your lifetime, because there is absolutely no other feeling than this feeling of walking into a Christmas market, and it just makes your heart really happy. My personal favorite Christmas market is in Regensburg. It's called the Romantische Christkindlmarkt, and it is absolutely beautiful. Christmas market wraps around the castle. The castle is lit up. They have a champagne hut. They have llamas. They have endless amount of little huts selling different trinkets, selling food, tons of stands with blue wine, and they're all decorated so nicely. And the first time I went there, we were really lucky because it snowed like crazy. And that made it so special. That snow was falling and you're having blue wine, you're mingling with your friends, and just everywhere you see, it's just people are just happy. The other thing that's really special about the Christkindlmarkt is Tunnentaxes, who is the quote-unquote princess. I don't know, you can correct me. That's the information that I have, which I thought was also amazing, that there's like a real-life princess. So she comes out and she reads a Christmas story. And for me, coming from California, everything about this is a fairy tale. It's just so special. My second favorite Christmas market that I've been to is actually not in Germany, it's in Austria, in Salzburg. Also, when we went there for the first time, it snowed the night before, so everything was covered in snow. It was just so special and beautiful. At the back of the Christmas market, there's a walkway leading up to the castle, and then as you walk up to the castle, they have little stands here and there where you can stop and take a break, look at the nice view below, and have glühwein wine. So as you can imagine, that is also spectacular. The second point that I love about Christmas in Germany is Lebkuchen and Plätzchen. I'm probably not pronouncing that word right. A lot of my pronunciation is so bad in German still, but I'm learning as I go. And also Glühwein, obviously. All of these things just make everything so gemütlich. They just taste so Christmassy. Everything is so wonderful about it. I've had mulled wine before in England, but this, I don't know what it is. It just tastes so different. Maybe it's just the ambiance of being in Germany, and maybe because I'm just so much in love with Germany, that everything just tastes better, feels better, and I don't know. I'm just crazy about Germany. So the third thing, which to me was very different in Germany, is the Advent. So the word Advent basically means arrival. So it's the countdown to Christmas. So what happens is you look at the 24th when Christmas falls, and you take the Sunday before then, and then you count 4 Sundays before that. And that's basically your Advent. So then you have 4 candles, and you light up 1 candle the first Sunday, and then the 2 candles on the second Sunday, 3 candles on the third Sunday, and 4 candles on the fourth Sunday. So that basically is the countdown to Christmas. So I don't know the religious significance behind it, but I think it's a sweet tradition.
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging.
Initially, I remember coming here and I was so confused. I was like, you have a Christmas tree, but why aren't you decorating it? So what would happen is my German family would buy the Christmas tree, but then they would not decorate it. It would be sitting in the basement or in the backyard or something, hidden from the kids. And the Christmas tree is then decorated on 24th. So the kids don't see it. So you decorate the Christmas tree, you put on the lights, then you put the presents underneath the tree or in the room or whatever. And that is then a big surprise for the kids on Christmas Eve, on the 24th evening. And then when they open the door to the room where the Christmas tree is in, for them it's such an excitement to see all of a sudden there is a Christmas tree with lights and it's decorated and there are presents. So in Germany, there's a Nikolaus Tag, I think that's what it's called, Nikolaus Tag. And so Nikolaus comes on December 6th. And that's when the children get gifts, but not like the main gifts, but they get like little gifts, like maybe candy or little stocking stuffers and so forth. And along with Nikolaus, on the same day also comes Krampus. So this was very interesting to me as well, because I've never heard of this before until I came to Germany. So Krampus is the quote-unquote bad guy, and Nikolaus is the quote-unquote the good guy. Nikolaus celebrates the kids and brings gifts to the kids, whereas Krampus is looking for kids that have misbehaved. And then he basically scares them. The first time I ever heard about Krampus or experienced anything was we went to a Christmas show in one of the local breweries here, and these people with masks came, and I was so confused. I was like, this is Christmas. Why are people dressed up scary? And that's when my friends explained to me, and Stefan explained to me, this is Krampus. And I was like, I don't understand. What is this? So that was my first introduction to Krampus, which was very interesting. And I think it's just fascinating, the differences. So the next point is Weinachtsmann and Christkind. Here in Bavaria, from what I understand, there is no Weinachtsmann, there's Christkind. And what happens here is, on Christmas Eve, Christkind, which is an angelic figure, she brings the Christmas gifts to the kids. So that's what I was talking about earlier, is the doors are locked where the Christmas tree is set up. And when kids go in, they believe that the Christkind came and left the gifts for the children, which is so different than how we celebrate in the US. And I thought this was really sweet. And I can imagine as a child, you're so excited and you want to open the door, but you can't because Christkind is not there yet and you're trying to open it. So what happened was, my German family, they would lock the door and then the kids would try to open it. They're like, no, it's not ready yet. She's not there yet. And then they would try again and again and again. And finally when it opened, they would be so excited and it would be screaming like, oh my gosh, she's here. And then they would open the door and the Christmas tree would be lit up, decorated, and then they find their gifts. So amazing, right? As a child, I think this would be, I would be just blown away with excitement. So Northern Germany, they have Weihnachtsmann, and then in Bavaria, we have Christkind. So that kind of starts wrapping up Christmas a bit. On the 24th evening, my German family, we all sit down together, we have a simple dinner, and then on the 24th, we have a big German traditional lunch. And then on the 26th, usually, then all of the cousins and everyone kind of gets together. So that kind of wraps up how I've experienced Christmas in Germany, which is very different than the Christmas that I grew up with in USA. Before we get into the US side of Christmas, I wanted to share some fun facts with you guys. The Christmas carols that I was singing in USA, all the traditional ones, they all came from Germany. And the first time when I came here and during Christmas time and I was hearing the Christmas carols, I was like, wait, these are the same Christmas carols that we have in USA, except they're in the German language. That's when I realized, wow, these originated in Germany. So I was pretty ignorant. Probably, most of the world knows about this, but I didn't know at that time. So that's one fun fact, at least for me. The other is Christmas tree tradition. Decorating the tree for Christmas originated in the 15th century in Germany. And then it was brought to USA by German immigrants. And that's how the tradition started in USA of decorating the tree, which I had no idea. And the Santa Claus, as we know him in USA, the imagery of Santa Claus was created by a cartoonist, a German-American cartoonist named Thomas Nast. So he created the iconic Santa Claus imagery in the 1860s, which also to me is so fascinating. I had no idea. Growing up in USA, Christmas was actually very different than what it is now. The Christmas feeling started coming up around Thanksgiving. That's when I was in school, I remember we didn't actually even talk about Christmas, but we knew, you just had that feeling that Christmas is coming near because Thanksgiving is there. And the focus was on Thanksgiving. Basically, when Thanksgiving ended, that's when all of a sudden everything changed to Christmas. And that's when everyone just immediately went into Christmas mode. So growing up in California, we didn't have Christmas markets. And I still, to this day, I've never seen a Christmas market in Los Angeles, in California. The only place I've been to a Christmas market in USA is Chicago and New York. And in my opinion, it doesn't come anywhere close to the Christmas market in Germany. Once you have been to a German Christmas market, then you understand there's absolutely no comparison to the Christmas market that we have in USA. So we don't have Lebkuchen and so forth, the German traditional sweets, but we have cookies. They're decorated with different frostings and different flavors, and which is also really special. It makes the house smell really nice. One of the Christmases, we baked so many cookies and we packed them up really nicely and we sent it to all of our family and friends, which is a really nice feeling. I never came across the Advent tradition in USA. I believe that is only associated with Germany. The Christmas tree tradition is also very different in USA. We get the Christmas tree as soon as Thanksgiving is over. Now that's how it used to be when I was growing up. But now people buy Christmas trees even before Thanksgiving. So mid-November you can buy a Christmas tree and decorate it. But the tradition over time slowly has become artificial trees, especially in California, because the weather is so warm in California that if you do get a real tree, it dries up so quickly. But having said that, I still prefer having a real tree over an artificial tree. So we have the Christmas tree pretty much set up in the beginning of December, and then this way you get to enjoy the Christmas tree every night. You light it up in the living room or wherever it is, and it's just how it creates a nice ambiance for everyone.
Sleigh bells are ringing out by the sea.
Now Santa Claus, that is so different in USA. So what happens is we don't have Krampus, we just have Santa Claus. He knows if you've been naughty or if you've been nice. If you've misbehaved, then maybe you will not get the gifts that you asked for, or maybe you won't get every gift that you asked for. So that's why you have to really behave. Santa knows everything and he will know if I misbehaved. So a lot of kids will write, I've been a good boy, I've been a good girl, and these are the things that I want, Santa please, blah, blah, blah. So we don't have the December 6th Nikolaus Tag. Everything kind of happens on Christmas Eve, on the 24th. So on the 24th evening, the kids are really excited because it's Christmas Eve and you have nice dinner with your family. And for Christmas dinner, it would be a big fancy dinner. We would have turkey and all of the trimmings. So it's kind of like very similar to Thanksgiving, or I would say it's pretty much identical to Thanksgiving dinner. It's just like a big feast and you eat a lot and then you go to sleep and you pray and hope that Santa brings you your gifts. You want to stay awake, but you cannot, because if you're awake, then Santa won't come. Before the kids go to bed, what they do is they will leave a glass of milk and some cookies for Santa, because when Santa comes, he's working hard, he needs a little snack. So you leave cookies and milk for the Santa by the chimney, because he comes through the chimney into your house, and if you don't have a chimney, then you're out of luck. So somehow I guess he comes through the window or something. And growing up, we didn't have a chimney, so I always thought that he came through the window. I would leave the milk and cookies on the table next to the window, and the tree was next to the window as well. So you go to sleep, and in the morning, the first thing you wake up, you basically scream, because as a child, you're like, oh my God, I'm up and it's Christmas Day and I've been waiting for this day for so long. And you run to the Christmas tree and there are the presents. And it's such an amazing feeling as a child. It's so exciting.
Last year I thought about how things can come around just like that.
So then on the 25th in USA, everyone kind of stays together, families. They might visit each other, but typically families that just stay at home, they stay in their pajamas, enjoy your gifts, and enjoy each other's company. So as far as what I prefer from USA versus Germany, I actually like both traditions pretty much equally. Growing up in USA, I really used to love Christmas time and I couldn't wait for it to start. But when I became older, I really started to dislike Christmas because it just became a very stressful time. As children, we would get very simple, small gifts, which we really appreciated. But over the years, I find that it's become very stressful in USA because people save and save and save money throughout the whole year, so they can purchase not just one or two or three, but multiple gifts for their children, and then also multiple gifts for their siblings, for their parents, for their neighbor, for their friends, for their co-workers, and it has taken away from the true feeling of Christmas. And what I find in Germany is that having this simple Christmas, of the true feeling of Christmas, of being together with friends and family, that's still very alive here. You go to a Christkindlmarkt and it's just simple pleasures that are so elevated from just the feeling that you get of Christmas. So there are certain elements of how it's celebrated in USA that I like versus Germany, but overall I just prefer the entire feeling that you get in Germany, which I've never gotten anywhere else in the world. Feeling that I get in Germany, it feels like it's a feeling from the heart, and it just makes my heart happy. So guys, this concludes the video for today. If I've said anything incorrectly, or if there's any other traditions that you want to share with me, please leave them in the comments. And anyone watching from USA, if there's anything that I've missed out on, or whatever your favorite part of celebrating Christmas in USA is, then please let me know as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside,